All right, I'm gonna try to put this in here without this thing making it. Okay. All right. Okay, we're gonna start over. So I'm gonna delete those other ones. Okay, we are live. Welcome to Home Staging Talk Show Live, brought to you by the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. Can you guys let me know if you can see me? That would be great. I'm not going to touch the stand because it was freaking out on me. So Facebook kept crashing. I'm not sure why it was doing that. Oh my God, I just flew out of my holder. This is not my day for... Oh my God, this is not my day for being live. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. All right, I don't know what's happening, but anyway. Hi, Sonia. Okay, so welcome to Home Staging. Oh my God. All right, you know, I'm just going to hold my phone. This tripod is not behaving. So I think I'm just going to have to hold my phone the whole time because this thing just keeps flying out of it. Okay, so sorry everybody for the technical issues. I'm going to, well, not yet, Mary Beth, because it just flew out again. Okay, Sonia, let's see if I can bring you on. Okay, yeah. So our goal today was to talk to Sonia and Barb about what's happening around the world with staging. And we did the tech test yesterday and it worked for both of them. I'm going to try to put this in the tripod because I really don't want to hold this the whole time. Let's see if I can do this without it flying out at me. Oh. It's a spring loaded thing. And then there's this little, I'll just do this. There's a little rubber thing at the bottom that came off. So that's like what keeps it in place. And it worked perfectly. I promise you guys it worked perfectly. I was able to talk to both of them. We were all excited to have them on. This is going to go flying out again. Okay, we'll put this little thing here. Stay. Don't come out at me. Okay, so, all right, Sonia, it says it's adding, so I don't know if it's a connection issue. Barb, if you're watching, why don't you try to come on? It said connection failed, Sonia. So Barb is watching. So I waved back at you, Barb. So why don't you request to join? I'm going to add you, Barb. So it says there should be a request for you to be added, Barb, that comes down from me. I'm initiating it for you. You just need to accept it. And then Sonia will come back to you. Okay, so it says it's adding.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, everything's quiet. Are you there?
I'm here. So you need to go move to the right, move to your left a little bit so that we can see. There you are, because we're on a split screen. My goodness. Yeah. So I apologize everybody for the technical. We're not going to post those other two. Those will be dumped because of technical glitches. But so Sonia, keep trying. I'm looking at the phone in the holder right now because I know it's going to go flying out. So hi, Barb.
Hi. The magic of technology. Hello, everybody.
When it's lost, right? It's even more exciting. That's what you get, you know? So you got to just roll with it. So Sonia, we'll bring you on. Keep trying. It's a connection issue. So if Barb is able to get on, that means it is working. It might be a Wi-Fi issue on your end. So you please check that. Make sure that everything's really strong. Hi, everybody. Hi, Katie from Europe. Hey, Verena. Hey, Catherine. So we'll probably go a little bit, we're going to go over past 10:30 because of the late start. But Barb, for those people who don't know, I can imagine people who don't know who you are. And everybody, please share the segment that I said in the first go round. Hit the share button at the bottom. So we do want this one to be shared. And that way we reach as many people as possible about home staging and with the information that we're sharing. And that's our goal with these segments every week, is to have a broad audience and a growing audience as well. So do please share this segment. This will be on our website, homestagingtalkshow.com, homestagingtalk.com, and also on the Home Staging Talk Show page. The video will be there. So now you're sideways, Barb. You can't do that.
I know. It's just that I pushed the share button and then I needed to turn it. Well, I posted it, but then it wouldn't leave the page of the posting. And so I had to arrow back to get to here.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, So Barb, tell everybody who you are and your background.
Well, everybody, thanks for being with us today. I'm Barb Schwartz, the creator of Home Staging and the founder and the worldwide representative or ambassador, I'm sorry, for the International Association of Home Staging Professionals, IHOSP. And I invented staging in 1972, worked with it myself for 10 years, and then served sellers as I did that. And then people ask, what are you doing? How do you do that? And so I became a professional speaker in 1985. And from 1985 to 1999, I toured the country 40 weeks a year, which is a lot, and taught 1,300,000 real estate agents in North America. And that was my How to List and Sell Residential Real Estate Successfully program. And I did not teach them how to stage. What I did was to introduce my concept because it had never been uh, in the business before. I really did, God put this through me, I think, to deliver it. There had never been the subject or the topic or anything. Agents were afraid to talk about the houses and how they looked because they thought they wouldn't get the listing. And they didn't know what to say or how to say it, and a lot of them still don't. And so, anyway, then as I toured, I was teaching them the benefits of staging and how to tell their seller that they need to stage their house. And then in 1999, I developed the ASP designation and course, the first of its kind, opened up the website stagehomes.com and the International Association. And from that time forward, for 17 years, worked as hard as the universe would let me to build all of it. And that brings us almost to today.
So Barb is the Global Goodwill Ambassador for IHOSP. So I think I shared that a couple weeks ago, but it's worth mentioning again. No better deserving person to be in that role. And so we gave her that award and title at the European conference, which was our pleasure to do that. And just was really excited to have you be able to go over there. And I'm really excited about what the future holds as well. So you were there in Europe for
Thank
6 weeks. Yes. Well, we love you. And so you were in Europe for 6 weeks. Tell us what that was like.
It was a dream come true. I've never been out of North America because all of the 1,300,000 agents I taught were in Canada and the US and Canada. And I haven't even been to Mexico, let alone countries in Europe. So when this opportunity came up, I just was really excited and so inspired. And it's become a part of me. I love Europe. I fell in love with the people. The people are just amazing. And I know it sounds maybe funny, but those of you who've been there, you understand what I'm saying, at least all of us in varying degrees. But I've been homesick. I really have. I miss Sonia and Verena and oh my goodness, Connie, and the list goes on for the countries. And they're just such great, loving, caring people.
They are. They were very welcoming, and I know they loved having you there with them. And so you started off in Germany and spoke at the conference there, and then
Correct.
and
Correct.
then
Germany, I flew to Germany to Frankfurt, and then they picked us up and drove us to Cologne, and that's where their conference was in Germany. And I had the joy of attending their awards ceremony, and it was so well done. And then the next day to talk about attitude really and believing in themselves and communication with the agents because the stagers in my mind in a certain way are way ahead of the agents. The agents there really are so far behind in many, many ways. And it's not their fault. And I don't mean that as a bad thing because I remember in Seattle, when you go back until the 70s, that, and before that, there was no multiple here. We didn't have associations. It was every man and woman and man for themselves. And there were offices with, numerous agents, but there was so much fear of who might steal a listing or who might get the sale instead of the person, excuse me, that, listed it. And so some of that is going on in Europe, and they're just going to take time to have people become more and more educated.
Right, and that is the goal. So you're kind of getting into the question that we wanted to ask too, which is great, about how real estate is sold differently there than here, and you kind of your general impressions of where are they relative to North America, and people that are stagers that are here listening in and watching. The U.S. is very far along in the process. I think I shared this last week that we really have no excuse not to get business because its staging is here. The realtors do understand it. Barb laid the foundation all those years ago, and so really paved the way. And in many ways, Europe is not as far along because it's a newer concept there. So what would you say? They're probably 15 years behind where we are today, or 20,
Well,
maybe?
it varies. For the real estate industry, it varies from country to country, as you know. And when I think of Germany, for example, their stagers are achieving the business mostly through the public. And the realtors are like, oh, we don't need that, and that won't work, and things that I heard all these years. I've heard more no's than anybody on the planet because I was the first stager and have taught all the way up till 2006. And not six, 2016. And so it's very interesting to look at the differences because the stagers are not waiting for the agents. They're going ahead and marketing to the public, which is very smart. And to the agents, it's just that the majority of agents have not awakened, just like I saw in the United States. Even in 2000 or 2005, a lot of realtors were saying, oh, I don't need that, I won't do that. And I've heard that all the way, and we still hear it today from some agents. Anyway, in Germany, you get your license as an agent. And many of the agents open their own office, and there are not other agents there. Now, that's not all the agents, but many of them. So you drive down a street and you see an agent office for John Smith, and you see a office for Henry Brown, and it's male dominated in the real estate industry in Germany and throughout Europe. And I saw that when I became a realtor way back, and there were more men in the office than women. Now, of course, the tables have turned through the years, and it's going to take time, but women will get into the business more and more as agents. So there are not huge companies like we see in the United States. Now, Remax has a couple of good-sized companies, and Century 21 has a few in Germany, but mostly it's the one person office. And those are the people that don't want to hear about staging, and that's Germany. In Spain, it can be similar, and yet there are a few more agents on board, which is great. And in Italy, there are a few more agents on board, and they have larger companies, is my perception, in Italy and also in Spain. So it varies from country to country. And as I said, this is like in the 70s or 80s. So when I think of the real estate industry, I would say that it's like I experienced in the 70s and early 80s. It really is. And that's more than, 10 or 15 years. And it varies from office to office. But stagers are really gung ho and they want to get the business. And so because the agents aren't giving it to them, which I want to help in some way work on, why the public is awakening because they see the articles in the newspaper and the TV shows, and many of them have read my books, which I'm very pleased about.
Which
So
is
that's
great.
kind of a synopsis.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry,
feel
I
like
have a,
the realtors definitely are not, they're behind where we are in North America. However, I think the stagers are definitely very well trained. So it's almost like the stagers are where we are here today with their classes they're taking, the professional training they're getting, understanding the concepts. However, the realtors are the ones that don't get it. And I don't know if the homeowners really, I mean, it is kind of step by step, the homeowners understanding, why they need to stage their properties and the benefits. So I'm really proud of all of our staging sisters and brothers in Europe who are not letting the fact that their potential
right,
primary client, which is the realtor, hold them back. And they're finding ways to get business. And they are very well
right.
trained. So, yeah.
Yeah, there is some wonderful training going on in certain countries, such as Germany and Spain and um,
Italy.
Italy, and so it's like I needed to do as a stager when there weren't any others, and even as I trained all those years. Um, if the stagers is just to go ahead. You cannot wait. And so the public, I was with Sonia the day that she got a call from a seller, and he knew about staging. And he said, I want to stage my property. And I was with Verena as well in Switzerland, where Verena is, and Sonia, as many of you know, is in Italy. And Verena had the same request. And Verena has had requests from agents too in
Good.
Switzerland. And I was with her when she was talking about projects. She had 6 projects coming in, which is really great. And not all in one day, but over the next couple of weeks when I was there. And so, nothing's stopping Verena or Sonia or others that are committed. And it's the same. I don't mean to say it's a game. It's not. It's a professional business, not a hobby. And I kept saying that in Europe too. It's very important for them to me to convey that is just not to take no for an answer and keep educating and educating. And they're looking for the agents that get it, and those are the ones they're working with. And that's a minority, but still they are.
Right. And an agent that understands staging and then includes it would hopefully get more business because my understanding of
Absolutely.
real estate is the seller doesn't have to list. I don't know if they're all for sale by owner and then the agents are all kind of buyer's agents. I don't know if that's, I mean, Sonia, when you come on, hopefully you can kind of clarify that. But I know that a seller doesn't have to list with one agent. However, an agent that starts including staging and is able to show that it's a viable tool to help the seller could secure that listing.
Right,
And that's the goal.
right. You know, I had been sent 6 pages of questions
Wow.
by a dear Iris when I asked for them and when I went to Germany. And the questions were so familiar that I heard in the 70s and 80s. But it's like, I'll upset the seller, I won't ask him. Or what do you do, when there are 4 listing agents? And some of you may be shocked or didn't really hear that. I'm going to say it again. The sellers in Germany can decide they want more than one listing agent. They can have 3 or 4 if they want. So those agents are not going to be talking about staging, even though we think and we know that they should, but they don't want to pay for it either. And they're afraid they'll upset the seller if they're the ones that bring it up. Instead of the reverse, by bringing it up, I will have an edge on the others. And
Right.
so any of those listing agents can sell it. And so they're like, well, if I pay for staging, then the other agent may sell it and I won't, I'm going to lose. And so you're right. And about 40 to 60% of sellers in Germany are for sale by owner. So you
Hmm.
have 40% to 50% that are listed. So the for sale by owner is a wonderful market that stagers can talk to. It's so new and there's so much fear. Fear is the word that's holding people back. Now in Italy, the way they sell real estate is a little bit different than that. They have like a big, Coldwell Banker office and Remax office, And those people have heard about it, but they haven't been really educated how to educate the seller on it unless they read a book or, you know, wonderful, people like Sonia have taught that agent the benefits and they listened because so many are afraid they don't even want to listen. So it's that's why attitude was so important when I talked about it everywhere I went, because it's not giving up and being persistent. And there's more than one way to reach people, above the issue, below, through it, beside it, whatever. And the concept of before and after pictures is like, oh, wow, well, that's a good idea. And having a portfolio where they can show pictures of their work. These are new things. They were writing that down like crazy. And so it takes time, but I'm telling you, they're moving faster than the U.S. did. All those years that I educated people from 1985 to 1999, and then the stagers from 1999 until 2016. And that's when Jenny and the team took over and came into play. And I don't mean play, but it's hard work, to really carry the future forward. And I'm very proud of Jenny and the team and everything that they're doing and the education they believe in. And I told Jenny, you can send me anywhere in the world, I'll go, because my dream is to stage the world, and it's coming true.
Talk about your book that you're writing.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm writing a book called Staging the World, and I'm writing, and I could write the whole book. But I had this, my inner knower, as some of you know, I call it my intuition, said, include others in the writing. And so I handed out a flyer, and I haven't put it on Facebook yet. And Jenny offered to send out an announcement also by email that will be forthcoming, that all of you have had stories and have stories every day. Wonderful stories. People cry when they see their house. People's lives have been changed because you staged and they avoided bankruptcy. The stories go on, and your story about how you became a stager is really important, and what you went through and the challenges you might have faced, because a lot of us did face challenges. I know the introduction was being given for my keynote talk at our first European IHOSP conference put on by Sonia and Verena and Jenny, and it was such an honor to speak there. And I'm not sure everybody heard the introduction because people were being so loving, standing up and clapping, and it made me feel so loved. Is that when I started stagefilms.com and the whole business that now is Staging the World, I went to the bank and borrowed $1,500 on my bank card. That's how I started it. And that was a challenge, getting to do that. Everything was a challenge, and it is for you and me every single day. And those are the great opportunities. So, the book, I want your stories. Please write your stories. It could be a page, or it could be like a mini chapter, whatever you want to write, whether it's 5 paragraphs or whether it's 5 or 7 pages. Because half of the book I would like to have you in it, with your name, your email address, your business name, all about you, where you live, etc., and then stories that you have experienced. And so thanks for asking, Jenny, because it's staging the world and people want to know. They really do want to know. They love the stories.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're writing the book. You're the perfect person to do it. And so people listening, we will be sending out an email. Barb will put that together, and we'll include the information of how you can submit your staging journey, your story there. It could be stories about your clients or maybe some of your favorite transformations or experiences with clients you could share. So, or all of the above. And so that'll be
Right.
really cool.
And I'd love pictures before and after, with all the credit for the pictures to you in color. And so really all you have to do is send them to me, Barb at Staging the World, because I will be picking the stories, and I believe most of the stories will be fabulous and will go in the book. So I can't have too many stories, really. So, so far, Jenny, from the flyer I handed out, I know everybody slammed. I've gotten one story, and I know so far that others say they're writing, and I believe them. It's just we got to get this going. So those of
So
you
we need,
listening that say, oh, I want to have mine in there, get it to me now.
yeah, so we'll send out something that has a deadline. I haven't even turned mine in, so we need to set a deadline so people have a mile marker so they know when they have to get it in. Otherwise, it may never happen, right? Because we'll be, oh, I'll get to
I
that.
thought
So
about you last night. I thought, Jenny, I need your story. I did. And Sandra and everybody,
yeah,
everybody, because everybody won't do it. And
right.
Verena, I need your story.
We'll
Sonia, I need your story.
start naming names. Well, all right, Sonia, if you are watching, let's see if you can try to come on. Um, and so Barb, as you all know me, so I messed up the initial two tries to come on live, so I didn't get to give the full introduction on this particular session. So I'm going to kind of recap that. Barb had taken a trip to Europe. She was invited to speak in Germany. She spent 6 weeks in Europe and then was able to go to Spain and also to Italy. She spoke at our first international conference that Sonia and Verena and Danya put on with our support from the IHOSP leadership team. And so I was very pleased to be able to go over there and met so many wonderful people. And so this segment was to be able to kind of recap a little bit of that and also share what's going on in the world of staging, because sometimes we get insulated in a little bubble where we live. And everybody has
Right.
good days. Sometimes we have challenges that come up. And I'm just telling those people that are here in the US, we're very fortunate because of the foundation that was laid. We don't face the same challenges that people over in Europe, these European countries, are facing relative to just the awareness of staging. So I know there are TV programs over there and there's articles, so they're not completely in the dark, but it's just it's a tough road that they're going down, but they're facing it. They're facing the challenge, and they're doing great work over there, and they're determined. They are determined to be successful. So and just kind of as a recap, Barb, how can we support our European brothers and sisters in the staging industry to help them?
Well, on Facebook, of course, you see people that live in Europe that are stagers, and reach out to them, ask them to friend you. Come to the conference, those of us that belong to IHOSP, which is in October in Charlotte. And you can go to iahsp.com and find out all about it. And I believe it's really important that you mentor someone, that you friend someone. And you may think, well, what's in it for me? Well, there's a ton in it for you. The world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I met people that are moving to the US, and then there are people in the US moving to Italy, like Sonia. Even though she's Italian, she and her husband were over here. He was working over here. And so they went back. And you have people from every country there that is moving to the US or from the US over there, because business is everywhere. It's just everywhere. And so referrals are going back and forth, and you may not be benefiting from that just because you haven't introduced yourself to someone from Europe. I mean, you know how small the world is getting. You hear it on TV all the time, and it is. It's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so reach out to them on Facebook, come to the conference, and adopt a brother or sister from Europe that you will become friends with, and can share ideas back and forth. And they're just like in the US, there are those that stage really great, and there are those that don't. And this is true in Europe too. And there's a few more in Europe that don't, because they haven't had the training. It's the same thing. I'll wake up and become a stager and no
Right.
training. I've seen in the US for years and years, and all the things they went through, I went through. So there isn't anything they're experiencing that I can't say I've been through that, because now it's not taken for granted, but almost in North America. But it hasn't been that way for years and years. Believe me, I went through all that for you in many ways, and so later, so did some others. And so, I'll go to see pictures or see a house where this room is staged and there are three pillows stacked on top of each other in the corner of the room, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's where the education needs to come in on people that want to be with people that want to be stagers who aren't taking the training. And the training in Milan with Francesca, and the training with dear Connie in Spain, in Madrid is where we went to the school. The training, of course, with Iris in Germany, and their association is approved by the government, which is really something. And I
Right.
introduced other people from other countries to talk with her because they hadn't thought of doing that. And that was no easy task. And so, anyway, there's some great work they're doing too that maybe some of us haven't thought of. And so I have some pictures that when I give my keynote in Charlotte, which is my joy of, and my topic is inspiration, why, a picture can inspire you too of things that can be done and then go on to the more inspiration and attitude, et cetera, et cetera. So they're going through all the same things that I went through and that we went through. And
Thank you.
they're getting there faster.
Right. And Frankie, hi, Frankie from France. So I see a lot of our international brothers and sisters are tuned in here, which is really great. Make sure to share the segment so we reach everybody. That's great. Well, Barb, you're so right. I really love the idea of finding somebody on Facebook. There's a lot of really great groups we have. The IHOSP group, there's IHOSP Europe, there's also the Home Staging Professionals group. So you can find somebody and be a mentor. Don't be afraid to share. We always say sharing is caring. And if something you can share with a colleague that lives over there that could help them with their business process, something that maybe you've experienced that maybe they're experiencing for the first time, it's so beneficial because a lot of times we think like, well, gosh, I'm the only person going with this, and maybe it's a challenging situation, and you don't want to share because maybe you're embarrassed or think like, oh, they're going to think less of me because I'm dealing with this situation. Believe me, we've all been there, we've all experienced it, and we'd be more than happy to share thoughts and encouragement and how we resolved the challenge or things that we did to help make it better. So I think that's really great. Or just encourage your colleagues over there, comment on their work, let them know they're doing a great job with their staging, and just become a friend internationally.
True, so true. And, Poland has a fabulous television show on staging. And that has created positive waves throughout Poland. So the public is learning more and more about it. I mean, it's really a great show. France also has a great TV show about staging, and some of the other countries don't yet. And HGTV we have, but it may not be everywhere in Europe. And
Right.
so, and I told Jenny, she's known this for a number of years. I wrote a pilot in 1999 when I started StageHomes.com on staging a home and sent it to HGTV. And I have a letter that they wrote me back and said, well, thanks for submitting your pilot. We don't think anybody would ever watch a show about preparing a home for sale. And so we are sorry, but we're rejecting your pilot. And that's half of HGTV now. And I just feel very blessed that, you know, I was able to share, and I'm still sharing with all of you. When I told my broker that clear back in the early 80s, that I was going to start giving classes and doing this, he said, oh, you don't want to do that. Everybody will steal your idea. Are you sure you want to share? And you sure? And you wouldn't believe how many people said that to me. And I'm glad that, the universe of God said to me, share. because I see all of you and I'm so proud of you, no matter where you live, whether you're in New York or Kansas City or LA, or you're in Madrid or Rome or, Berlin, it doesn't matter. And look at the wonderful things you're doing. It's just phenomenal. And I'm very, very, very proud of all of you. And don't give up. Never, never, never give up. You keep at it. Climb that mountain. Half of you are already at the top, and or almost to the top. So don't give up ever.
Awesome. Sonia, I think you had requested to join, but it disappeared. So if you can try to come back in. Well, Barb, thank you so much for being on. We're going to have you back, you know that, and we'll have another great topic for people to learn. I'm sorry, my phone is going off here. I'm going to sit on it. I don't know who's calling me. All right. I had it on because I
Well,
have to call Sonia and do conference call instead of video. So anyway, I didn't expect that to go off. So Barb, thank you for being on. We'll have you back. And she's just
thank
a
you
wealth
so
of
much.
wisdom and information. So we'll pick another topic and have you share. And so I'm going to sign off on you and see if we can't get Sonia to come on. So everybody say goodbye to Barb.
Bye,
Bye.
dear
Love you.
hearts. I love you. I love you. I love you. I miss all of you, whether you're in New York or in Rome or in Germany or Spain or anywhere. I miss all of you, and I really am so grateful to each of you and love you from the bottom of my heart. And please let me say this, Jenny. Staging to me is about love. And as the creator of it, it's really about bringing love to the environment. And when you do your wonderful, magical work, people's lives are changed. And you know that. You see that. I know you know that. And people cry, as I said before. And that's about love. And you don't say, well, I like staging. You say, I love this business. And I started that years ago with the hands. And it's really, really true. So keep putting out the love through your great work. And whether you're carrying a chair or not, don't complain about that. Be happy for that chair, that you own that chair. And so I'll hear somebody sometimes say, well, I have to schlep this furniture in. Well, then maybe you're in the wrong career, because where would you be without that furniture? And so every part of it is really, really important. Love your furniture too, as
Love
you also love the industry and what you're doing. And I love you from the bottom of my heart. And so God bless you and go for it. I love this business.
Yeah, we love you too, Barb. Thank you for being on. So we'll see
Thanks,
you in
honey.
Charlotte. See you in
Thank
Charlotte.
you, Jenny. Yeah, go.
Okay, so Sonia, let's see if we can get you on here. Approve. Add. Okay. I'm on Facebook.
Finally.
Woo! So I have no idea what's going on this morning, and so I was concerned it
Me
was on my
neither.
end, Facebook's end, and the flying phone a couple times, and I'm still holding it in my holder because I know if I like it's gonna fly across the room. So everybody, this is Sonia Radovinovich, and let
Hi,
us know where
everybody.
you.
I'm just hoping that it's very tricky, Jenny, to go and intervene after Barb. And I'm just, looking at the numbers, still 23 people,
Good, good.
following us and the show. So for those who don't know who I am, hi, everyone. My name is Sanya Radovanovic, and I'm an accredited staging professional master. I love my business and I love iHasp, and that's why I'm the president of the iHasp European Home Staging Association. Hi, John. So yeah, I'm an interior designer as well. I lived and worked in the US before I moved here in Italy and Rome in 2016. What else should I share? Nothing else. Everybody knows me. I mean, I didn't mean in in a very bad way.
Yeah, so Sonia, I met her. Well, she lived in Chicago before moving back to Rome, and then I met her in it was Atlanta. Is that
Yeah.
where the master's course? Atlanta. So she came for the master's course. I had the privilege of teaching her, and just knew right away that when I knew she was going to Europe, the vision that Barb started so many years ago. She named it the International Association of Home Staging Professionals, not the national. And with the vision that staging is global. So when we learned that Sonia was going to be moving back, as a little light bulb went on, and I thought, she would be a great connection. Not only that, she speaks multiple languages, and paired up with Verena, who's from Switzerland. So hi, Verena. Hopefully you're watching. We love Verena. Verena speaks 6 languages, so I figure we've got almost all of Europe covered between the two of you guys.
Almost.
So tell us about the conference, just kind of a quick synopsis, and then I wanted to kind of talk about what is specifically happening in Europe with these different countries.
So first of all, thank you once again, everybody who's online and watching this live show, for attending the conference. And of course, a big thank you goes to the leadership that has supported us, the perfect trio, into organizing the conference. So it was a huge success, although I'm very critique about our accomplishments. And so far we have received 100% positive feedback has been said so far. So huge success. It was the first time that an event like this was organized in Europe. So we're very proud of ourselves and our achievements. And we had 80 attendees coming from 12 different countries. And I'm going to run quickly and say we had home staging professionals from the US, Japan, Italy, Spain, Switzerland, Germany, Austria, France, Estonia, Poland, the Netherlands, Hungary. And we had Monica Stanchu representing 2 countries, not only one, Canada and Romania. And wonderful lineup of speakers. We had a great time during the conference, great time at the conference, post-conference party.
That was
And
fun.
yeah, it was very nice, having the opportunity to see everybody. And what you and Barb just said, when you use the words brothers and sisters, it really means a lot, I think, to all of our members. The way IHASP sees, the members, it's really true. We're like a big family, and the fact that we treat our members and we treat each other as brothers and sisters, this is what I think sets us even more apart from other associations globally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are a family.
Oh, we're a big family.
Staging is, to us, it's a big industry because we're in it, and yet it's when you compare it, let's say, to real estate agents, the number of real estate agents just in the U.S. Is about over 2 million, about 1 million something realtors, and stagers, a few thousand, and so we are a small subset of a much larger industry. But within our subset, we really are a family, and we need each other. So you did, guys, did such a great job with the conference, and it was so exciting to meet people from all over Europe and Japan, and to have them come and support. And what I've been sharing with people is a lot of these countries have their own associations for their country, but this is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, that they had come together under the umbrella of IHOSP International and actually met each other. So a lot of them had never met each other.
That was the first time. We all got in the same room together. We shared meals and we had excellent time.
Yeah.
And
powerful.
Powerful, really. Part of our mission as IHASP International Sister Association is to support our members through the ongoing education and provide them with unique opportunity to network together, and of course business opportunities as well. So IHASP International has so far 9 home staging international affiliate associations. 8 are allocated within Europe, and 1 covers the continent, the Asian continent, and of course we're talking about the Home Staging Association in Japan. Member-wise, when it comes down to Europe, although we're present as a global association everywhere in the world with thousands of members, we've started Europe 16 months ago, having only 2 members, 1 myself and 1 Verena. And looking back, when everything started, how everything started, and where we are now, probably the most important and the most loving part was the journey that brought us today where we are, having 60 members, and we're having some very important goals to hit by the end of 2018 and 20. when it comes to numbers of membership and the numbers of affiliate association. And I would like to share a couple of information that by the end of the month of May, we will have the UK and Hungary as the latest addition to our international staging affiliate family. So I know Barb has shared partial informations about how real estate, is sold here in Europe. And I would like to add that absolutely she's right on everything that she has said so far. Not only the way real estate is sold in Europe is different, and we are really far behind when it comes to the differences between the two continents. There is something that nobody should underestimate is that when you speak about the US, we talk about 50 states combined together. When we speak about Europe as a continent itself, and really there are big differences culture-wise. From a country, let's say from Sweden up north to Portugal, Spain, or Italy or Greece, south in Europe. So not only differences in how real estate, the properties are sold, but as well it comes down to home staging projects and as well to the education. So we will work hard on that to keep, especially when it comes down to our members, as IHUB stands for Education, Excellence, and Ethics. And we're making sure to be right there at the top for our members, for the industry standards. And if you like, Jenny, I would like to share, I just have a couple of stats that I have chosen.
Sure.
I can tell you that in Spain, without home staging, the average time that a property needs to sell is 10 months versus just 1 month and a half properties that are staged. So do you see, like, it is vital that the real estate agents and the general public start utilizing our services, because not only they're vital, but in Italy we say we move the real estate. And staging really
That's a
does
10
that.
times, statistically, so in Spain,
It's
staging is
almost 10
helping houses
times.
sell 10 times faster, or 9 times, if you're saying, so
Yeah,
1 month versus 10, than not staging at all. That's a huge statistic.
that's a
So
huge
it's awesome.
statistic, and I think that it's approved that staging works. And as Barb and of course everybody knows, education is the key. So all we gotta do is really educate the general public and most of all the real estate agents. So going down to another statistic, for example, that I've taken from the DJHR, which is our German International Affiliate Association, is that 60% of properties that have been staged by their members sell in 4 weeks or less. We don't have the comparison numbers to the properties that they have, that they're not staged, but like in 4 weeks or less, that almost brings us to the US statistics.
Right.
And all this information, when it comes to statistics per countries, I hope we will be able to upload everything on our beautiful website, which is www.ihaspurup.com. And I would like to share that, for example, 62% of the projects in the UK, real estate agents paid the 35%, while it comes to 62 that the owners pay for. And that's
For
huge
staging.
for staging
So,
when it comes to
so
staging.
almost a third of the agents are paying for the staging in the UK, but the
2/3
sellers are,
paid by, yeah.
2/3 are being paid by the sellers. And so that's an important statistic as well. That'll continue to swing, more realtors covering it versus the sellers. But the fact that the sellers are understanding that they need this done, that's huge.
That's huge. And I mean, what home staging as a profession did, it did shift directly from the US passing towards the Scandinavian countries and the UK first, and then it started spreading all over Europe. But one of our goals for 2019 is to have our state international staging affiliate association gather their national data and national statistics. So by 2019, hopefully, we could have the European statistics,
Which would be great. I mean, I know
which
that it
is
differs. I mean, it's just like in the US, there's some states, there's some cities that are markets super hot, houses are flying off the shelf, and then there's some areas of the country that it's going to be slower. So you'll find that in Europe too. You'll have some that will be on the fast end, some will be in the slow. You'll get kind of a median, statistic. If it's really skewed, like there might be one country where it just really isn't known very well, you might separate
exactly.
that out so it doesn't skew the stats. But I think that's really smart to get the statistics. And, then who looks at those is the public because people want to know, well, prove to me the staging works. I don't believe it. And so the statistics don't lie. I mean, they're real numbers that they're collecting from real projects. So it's data. And we provide those with IHOS. We're about to do a big update of our stats for the US. And you need those numbers because you do have people that really want to see prove to me that it works before I put my money out there.
Especially to have, statistics that are put together by an industry association and global leaders as IHOSP. I think that's an added value and
Yeah.
gives, additional credibility to our profession. So right now we're in a process of a full speed growth. And I would like to close saying that the vision that we have is to bring to the well-deserved place to our profession in Europe. Like we need to have more credibility as professionals and our services have to be more valued. I don't want us to be associated with like, oh, crazy housewives, moving cushions and pillows and chairs. Like this is a business.
Right.
And
Right.
was it
Professional.
Barb that earlier what she said was, be happy if you're moving chairs, and as long as you do stage as a hobby, that's how you're going to move along in the future. So we need to be entrepreneurs of ourselves, so businesswomen, businessmen, and this is really a big deal. And I'm really looking forward, you know what, Jenny, like having in 10 years a conversation like we did have today and being able to compare the numbers, just to see like how much we did all believe. Well, I love you
Right.
too, Edie. I'm reading the comments.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun to be able to look back and see how the industry has grown and changed. And we'll be able to say, we were right at the very beginning in Europe as far as pulling the countries together, which is super exciting. So I'm so proud of what you're doing there,
Thank
you and
you.
Verena, and we're excited for the next European conference will be in 2020. Of course,
2020.
Sonia will be in Charlotte and in the fall. So our conference in the fall, the IHOSP conference and expo, you can go to IAHSPCONEXPO.com, IHOSPConExpo.com and learn about it. Of course, the Property Brothers are our keynote speakers. Very excited to see them. Barb will be our inspirational keynote. And then we have Scott Hansen, who will be our business keynote. So
And
Sonia
I'm,
and many of the European people will be there.
oh, absolutely. Many brothers and sisters are coming with me, no doubt. We're coming.
Good, good.
All
So
right,
any
Jenny.
last thoughts?
Any last thoughts? Besides what Mama Barb says, never stop believing in yourself, guys. I was having a wonderful dinner with home stagers yesterday in Rome. Many of them are graduates from Home Philosophy Academy's home staging training course, which is approved, by IHSP, and of course, 50% of them are members of the HSPAI, which is the Italian Association of Home Staging Professionals. And we had very, productive chat. And I said, okay, there's no work, but what are you doing to find work, to have, more projects? What you do to educate your sellers, the public, or even the real estate agents? Because as you thought, at the masters and as well during the ASP course by stagehomes.com is that you can establish a profitable collaboration with the real estate agents over and over again, while that particular seller may be only a one-time project. So
Right.
my advice is always differentiate your clients and make sure that you find, your suitable niche.
Right. And you're right. The being able to, the realtors are coming around, and there's definitely classes and information being shared with them. So they do need to come around, and what she shared as far as being a stager, to align yourself with realtors that do get it about why they need to include staging is important, because they'll have use for us as stagers over and over and over again, where a
Absolutely.
seller will use this when they sell. They may use this where they move. However, and they might refer us. However, you're not going to get repeat business out of that person in shorter periods of time. It would be much longer.
Most of
So,
all, because in Europe, we're very emotionally attached to our properties. So I can guess like over 75% of people, once they purchase their first house, they stay there forever.
really.
And that's why I confirm, like, working with sellers and with the public means that you gain them as your client, your customer only one time, unless you don't stay in business for like 60 years.
Right. You'll be doing that, Sonia. Be like 100 years old, staging. Oh
Oh
my gosh, that's
boy,
so funny.
it is.
Well, I appreciate you being on. I'm gonna
I
say
appreciate
we're
you
gonna say goodbye
inviting
to
me.
Sonia, and then I'm gonna wrap up the program. So thank you for being on. I'm glad the technology
Thank
finally
you.
worked.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm very grateful to those 19 people who are still alive, watching us. So
All right,
bye,
thank you.
everybody.
Love
Thank you
you.
for having
Bye.
me. I love you too. Bye.
Right. Well, thank you all for hanging in there. Sorry about the earlier tech glitches that we had, and I had made a couple of announcements on the first video that, of course, will be deleted because it had to get cut off. We do have awards. We just launched the Best of IHOSP, and so this is going to recognize people in three categories: Best of Staging Excellence, Best Customer Service, and then Best in Leadership. So there are other groups that recognize Best of, but they're not a staging group. They're parallel industry, and I thought, we need something for our industry that recognizes the talented people all over the world that are doing really great work. And so you can there's a portal where you can submit your information, testimonials, examples of your projects and so forth, and what you're doing in leadership in the industry. And then you would be provided a logo that could go on your website, because that gives you added credibility with your future clients. And, we all love the ability to be recognized for our work. And so there are other recognition opportunities with conferences. There are awards given out for like Best Vacant, Best Occupied Staging, Top Team, Top Individual, Rising Star, etc. And those are, a small number of people are awarded those. And so this Best of IHOSP gives the opportunity for many, many people to be recognized within the industry. And it's not just for IHOSP members, it's for anybody that would like to submit. And you can also submit a colleague. You can self-nominate. You can also submit a colleague. So please look at that and get your submittals in. I think the deadline is June 30th is what I put down. So I'll double check that. So look on social media for that information. But Best of IHOSP, and toot your horn. As Barb said, if you don't toot your own horn, you're going to remain in a state of untootedness. So toot toot, and get the recognition you deserve. So thank you all for being. Again, please share this segment out with your peoples, your followers, so that we reach maximum exposure. Next week, talking about numbers, we will be discussing statistics and how to incorporate them in your business, how to gather statistics and so forth. So kind of a nice foray into that. Sonia mentioned the statistics, and I had that topic down because it's really important to be able to, you got to know your numbers. So we're going to talk about how you do that, the importance of it, what numbers you want to be tracking and so forth. And we'll have a couple of guests with us on the show next week, next Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Unless we have another tech glitch, we will start on time. And then the following week, which I believe is the 23rd, Scott Hansen will be sharing, and he's our business keynote speaker. So I'm really excited to hear what he has to share. I also want to wish all you mamas out there happy Mother's Day. This Sunday is Mother's Day. So I know some of you are mothers of children, some of you are mothers of fur babies, some of you are mothers of nieces and nephews or colleagues and so forth. So whatever role you play in that role of being a nurturing woman, happy Mother's Day to you, and God bless you all. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.